What is up, guys? Sonduren here. In this video, I'm going to tell you why I personally went ahead and picked the Lexus NX to buy in the entire compact luxury SUV segment. So first, welcome to the channel. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like this video, but I want to go ahead and give you my thought process across kind of all the competitors in that luxury, ultra compact or compact SUV segment, why we went ahead and picked the Lexus NX out of them all. So really, I think the first thing I went ahead and looked for when I was looking at a compact luxury SUV was I wanted some more size. So we were coming from my Lexus IS250, love that vehicle, but it's a sedan, a little smaller, more of a sports sedan, but we needed something bigger. And so we went ahead and looked at the compact luxury SUV segment. We didn't want to go full blown with a massive SUV. We wanted 5 seats, but we wanted more storage capability. We have a baby on the way, and we wanted to look at, what is a good vehicle all around to go ahead and buy in 2023 across that segment. And so we looked at a whole bunch of vehicles, right? There are some vehicles that we immediately kind of pushed off. There were some vehicles that we went ahead and test drive, and then we kind of came to the ultimate decision of the Lexus NX. So I think number one, we looked at kind of the mainstay competitors of the Lexus NX. I am a little Lexus biased, but I'm going to completely be honest here. I was Lexus biased, but I really wanted to be practical about this decision. I love my Lexuses. I've had an IS250, IS350, but I went in with an open mind with my wife, and I said, let's go ahead and look for what is the best all-around compact luxury SUV for the money that meets kind of all of our needs. And I think space, it needed to be a bit sporty, needs to be luxurious, it needs to have decent fuel economy, or be full electric, one or the other, or hybrid. We definitely wanted to make sure we're not buying something that's a gas guzzler, something that's, kind of more on the forward of tech, and then something that has an extremely good top class kind of infotainment setup, right? We love our tech. I love my tech personally. I wanted to make sure I get some top tier tech in the vehicle. So we looked at all of this and we said, all right, what are the competitors? And the first one that's kind of came out from the side here, kind of a dark horse, was the Genesis. And I think the Genesis team has done a phenomenal job. Their vehicles are beautiful, stunning inside and out. And we went ahead and we test drove the GV70. And let me tell you, GV70 is a beautiful vehicle inside and out. Like, that is truly a luxury class SUV. And I was really impressed. Interior, all the materials of such high quality, aluminums, etc. The leather, beautiful. The exterior, beautiful. Drove really well. A great power plant with the engine, a turbo engine, lots of great power. It really had everything. If there was one nick on that vehicle, it's the infotainment system. I think a little bit kind of a disappointingness that you have to plug in with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. I didn't like that the screen was kind of far away from the driver. It was a little bit small and out of reach. Some things there about the interior I didn't like, but overall, like, what an incredible vehicle. Then we also looked at the Audi Q5, and quite honestly, this was a little bit of a disappointment for me. I wanted to go ahead with an Audi. You guys know on this channel, I have my 2008 Audi R8 that I adore and love. I think it's one of the most beautifully designed vehicles of its time, and it still looks timeless to this day. So I thought, of course, let's go ahead and take a look at Audi's offering, and it was the Q5. And we were disappointed. To be honest with you, the Q5 looks kind of pedestrian to me on the outside. The inside looks a bit Spartan. I didn't like the screen and the infotainment system. Again, I really just don't like small screens. And the reason why I don't like small screens in a vehicle is because if I want to go ahead and interact with the screen, unlike knobs or buttons that you can kind of reach out to and feel, I need to actually focus my attention like somewhere else and actually put my eyes off of the road and go look for it and do it. And I find that takes a lot more time. When you have a much bigger screen, and this is why this is a big decision for us on the Lexus NX, among other things, a 14-inch screen, you can see everything in your peripherals. So you don't necessarily have to be directly looking at the vehicle or at the screen. And so I felt like the Audi interior, the tech package wasn't there as much, the screen wasn't there, the materials and everything were more understated maybe and more sporty, but like, maybe too aggressively sporty. We were looking for something that's more comfortable, luxurious instead of sporty, luxurious. So softer touch finishes on the interior, those type of things. And then the price was also more on the higher end with the, the Technic package that they have. So really, I wasn't really impressed. And you guys know, for me, like, I also have to fall in love with my car when I look at it. When I looked at the Q5, I didn't get that same feeling that I felt with the Genesis. I thought, wow, that Genesis really captures like my heart when I look at it. It looks really stunning on the inside and out. The Q5 just looked like a pedestrian vehicle. And maybe it was because it was gray the one I was in. but everything just felt meh. Like, okay, it just didn't like make my heart go like, oh, you know, that's sexy when I look at it. Or I get inside and I'm just like, this is so nice. Like, I didn't get that feeling personally. Now, if you don't want that, that's fine. But I wanted that, and it kind of didn't deliver. So we didn't look at that. Then there's the Volvo XC60 that we went to and we looked at. You know, I think the Volvo exterior interior design philosophy is very beautiful. I think it's really nice. Don't get me wrong. I didn't necessarily like the infotainment system. I don't like the vertical display, not so much on a vehicle. Something about that just bugs me. I don't know what it is. Let me know in the comment box down below, actually. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer like this vertical screen layouts kind of in the center stack? Or do you prefer something more horizontal? Maybe it's because I make these videos and everything I'm looking at on my screens every day is everything 16:9. So if I see something vertical like that, it's a little weird. Yes, I know your phone's vertical and I understand completely all that. But in a vehicle, in a car, I feel like the 16:9 aspect ratio just is better. But let me know your thoughts. That's what I was thinking. So we kind of looked at the Volvo and we said, okay, the interior is looking nice. The exterior looks nice. Does it inspire me and make me feel like, ooh, like anything else special? Not necessarily. So the other vehicle that we looked at was the Lexus. And so we had a decision to make. Did we want to look at the Lexus RX, which is the slightly bigger version, or the Lexus NX? And the price difference in Canada was about $10,000. And quite honestly, I didn't find the RX that much bigger to justify the additional $10,000. So our package, the one that we ended up landing on, a little spoiler in the video, was the Lexus NX 350h with the ultra luxury package. So that was about $65,000. And so $75,000 for a similar package with the RX. Is that worth it for you? For us, it wasn't. And so we looked at the Lexus NX, which is a little bit smaller, but still in the same size category as the other competitors that I just mentioned. And first off, from the exterior, like, again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Please keep me honest, but I'm trying not to be biased because I've owned multiple Lexuses before. I really am. I'm trying to take a step back. But when I look at the NX with the new 22 and 2023 versions, I think they hit it out of the park with the styling. I see it, and this is not even the sport model. So I had my friend give me his Lexus F Sport. I had him give me. He kindly let me borrow his F Sport 3, and it was beautiful. And that's the F Sport Sporty package, and I think that looks amazing. But even in the non-F Sport model, this Lexus 350h, I think looks really, really good. I think it does still look aggressive and sporty, but it's like more of an executive look, a little bit more understated. And I really, really like the exterior. I'm a big fan of the Lexus grille. I love the headlights. Everything on this vehicle, from front to back, from the side profile, from everything, I really love. Like, I look at it, I'm like, that's a thing of beauty. Somebody please, like, just make sure you tell me in the comments and be like, Sonduren, enough. You're just a Lexus fanboy. It's not that beautiful. Someone please tell me that, because I think I'm on a little bit of a Lexus Kool-Aid thing. But that's what I thought. And look, my wife also, she wasn't the biggest Lexus fan in the world before I met her. She also said the same thing. And, you know, my wife isn't the biggest car girl around, but she likes cars. And she said, this Lexus is really, really nice. So on the exterior, caught our hearts. Interior as well. I think the interior, we got the Palomino interior on the M&N White Pearl on the exterior. We really, really love the interior. Beautiful soft touch everywhere. The big 14-inch display, big thick steering wheel. One of the best infotainment and tech packages in the market, in my opinion. It does have this new Lux leather, which is kind of the synthetic leather if you don't want to, you know, be involved with killing cows or whatever else. All of that's there. It's really, really nice to drive. The interior is plush. You know, in comparison to the Q5, where everything is much harder, this interior is very plush. The seats were very comfortable. Everything just felt more luxurious and for comfort versus like luxury for sport, which is what the Audi was. But I will say, the Genesis GV70 blew both interiors out of the water. The interior of that Genesis was just like high class. Like, I felt like I was at some store that I don't belong in. It was just really, really beautiful, really nice. Like, if I could have had that Lexus build quality or that Genesis build quality in the Lexus, that would have been made my day. But the Lexus is still great. It's not at that truly supreme luxury status. I'd say it's one step below that, but it's probably 2 steps above Audi in terms of comfort luxury. And so we thought, wow, this interior is really great. We really love it. Very easy to see out of on the inside, full panoramic roof. Look, a lot of the features I think are the same across all of these vehicles and the different, you know, options that you have, but their execution of them is what is the actual difference, right? So a lot of them have CarPlay and an infotainment system and a glass roof and a heads-up display and great audio and all of this stuff. They all have that checklist, but how do they actually execute on it? And I thought the Lexus, everything was more accessible. So the intuitive interface of how they've arranged everything in the cockpit, I think was better. I really did like the entire feel of the materials that they use and where you're touching things. And just in general, I just thought everything was put together very nice on the Lexus. So when we looked at the interior, we thought, okay, that's great. On the infotainment package, you know, I had stuff that the others didn't have, like wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. It's 2023. I would expect that when I get in my car, I don't need to plug in my phone every time to go access, you know, my infotainment. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't do that in my 2009 Lexus IS 250 anymore because I bought one of those adapter things. I plug it in. I don't plug it in. I put my phone on this magnetic latch and it automatically connects with Bluetooth to my vehicle, do a little adapter, and I'm there. So don't tell me, like, I don't want to go into my 2023 vehicle and plug in my phone every time to get access to infotainment. So wireless on that. Huge 14-inch, beautiful, bright, responsive display. This reminds me of kind of like a mini version of the Tesla display that isn't so much more mini, right? 14 inches is huge. And it's just, it works well. It's beautifully placed. It's a little bit shifted to the driver, which I like. Again, the other thing that I really didn't like, even about the Cadillac XT6, which is not in this segment, by the way, but such a small screen and then not pointed at the driver, I don't like that. Even the Audi wasn't necessarily pointed at the driver. This one and the Lexus pointed at the driver a little bit more. Just everything just feels great about it. That's within arm's reach. The steering wheel buttons make everything easy to access. I know they all have that, but I just felt the execution overall in terms of the exterior and interior on how to use the vehicle, right? How it's all set up, how it makes it easy for the driver to access the controls that they want. I thought the Lexus executed on that much better. And so when we looked at that and we said, look, all of these, you know, vehicles, they're all in this price range of like 60 to 70,000. They all have these check boxes and you couldn't really compare them to that. You know, besides like the Android Auto, wireless, all that, basically 95% of it was the same. But the execution was where it mattered. And we looked at it and we said, you know what, it's the execution that matters. So we went ahead with the Lexus and it got us to have that emotional connection with it, which I think is important when buying any vehicle. I was emotionally connected to it. So was my wife. So it's like, okay, obviously this is the right choice. This is where we want to go. The hybrid was a whole bonus. So of course, you know, other manufacturers offer a different assortment. They may have an electrified version like the GV70, etc. But in this case here for us, we looked at the hybrid option on the NX 350h and we thought, okay, this is great. 6 liters per 100 kilometers. We don't get that range anxiety of maybe a full electric vehicle. If you want to go into my full, you know, story about that and why I chose hybrid versus full electric, I will link that card and that video in the link above, and I'll also leave it in the description box down below, and you could watch me kind of give you my thoughts on why we went to hybrid versus full electric today in 2023 in Canada, where it's freezing a lot of the time, you know, you get battery degradation, all that. But basically, all that to say is we looked at all these competitors and we said the Lexus still captured our heart and we ended up buying it. So, and again, if you follow the channel, you saw we did the pickup video, did a walk around. We absolutely love the vehicle. We couldn't be any happier, but that's basically why we bought the Lexus NX in this ultra compact luxury segment for SUVs. It was all down to execution. That's basically it, because most of them had all the check boxes. I just thought the Lexus executed better on all of it. And then it's the extra bonus that I know Lexus reliability, Lexus brand, Lexus service is all top tier. And so ended up making that decision. Let me know what you guys think. Am I, you know, again, letting my Lexus bias get to me, or did I make the right decision? I'd love to hear your thoughts. The Q5, the GV70, do you guys agree with my thoughts? You know what? It was like this close for me to get the GV70, just this close. Truly a luxury class vehicle. I thought the Q5 fell short of both of them, in my opinion. But yeah, let me know. Am I drinking my Kool-Aid or am I right? But either way, if I'm not right, we ended up buying it anyway. We're happy. And that's, I guess, the thing, right? It's at the end of the day, you have to be happy with that decision. You have to drive the vehicle. You have to go look at it, check it out. If you feel like that's the vehicle for you, go with your heart. I'm a guy that usually goes with your heart. So hope you guys enjoyed. Like this video. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.